Hey Trent, how you doing?
Trevor, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. And what's going on with you?
Just getting into the groove of things. Finally got done with the deep freeze we had in Florida. People are past the Super Bowl, so I think it's time to get some homes sold.
Yeah. What'd you think of the Super Bowl?
I thought it was good. I was delighted that the Kansas City referees didn't win.
I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, so last year I just feel like they almost feel like they're set up.
Mm-hmm.
This year didn't feel set up though. It felt like the Eagles just ran with it and nobody was stopping them.
Well, yeah, they certainly did. They just kept going on, and they didn't really get the ball running. I was
going to say, right, yeah, not really run with it, but
yeah,
it's not that first half, especially.
I kind of looked at it. I was like, well, Saquon didn't get the yardage, but you have to keep him from doing things. That was the main thing. So that's why he could just throw. They're like, we're not letting Saquon beat us. We see what that guy can do. He's amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing is you can't always look at stats, because sometimes it's the intangibles. And yeah, there's two guys on Saquon the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really wanted to stop that run.
Yeah.
So that was a good game. That was a good game. I didn't watch the halftime show. Did you watch the halftime show?
No, I took the opportunity to bathe my son during that time. So
okay,
dad duties. And then came back and it was over. And oh no,
I never. Some people only watch it for the halftime show, and I just never got into it. It's not for me. I like music, but it's just not. It's usually performers that I'm just like, why are they performing this? Or I don't know. I like the upbeat ones and the positive ones, but a lot of times it's, I don't know. Like the one this year, I didn't watch, but I thought it was going to just be like, because there's big beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, I just was like, it's just going to be about that. And from my understanding, it kind of was. It kind of was just like a diss fest. I don't know. Yeah. So, anyways, you guys can disagree with me. Put it in the comments.
Let us know in the comments what's happening. But
and then the other topic, mortgage com, I didn't go to.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it this year either. I'm making it a high priority to go next year. So it is.
Did you go last year?
I went the first year. Yeah.
Last year was the first year.
Last year was the first year. That was the inaugural mortgage con, the kickoff. It was cool. It takes place at Universal. You're in Studio 33. You have the speakers come on stage and you get a lot of good information. The lunch was great. I just couldn't make it. I had a personal reason that I couldn't make it this year. But next year, I'll make sure it's not a thing. And I'm going to definitely go.
So who puts this on?
Oh, it's put on by Mpire themselves. So we bring in sponsors. We hire all the speakers to come speak, deliver information. It's not just mortgage all the time. There's speakers like Jamie Miller, who talks about the art of conscious communication.
Yeah, he's incredible if you guys don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I just wish I could actually apply what he says. Like the way he talks, he tells you to say something a certain way and it makes so much sense, but then you get into conversation and if you don't train yourself to talk that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to really kind of retool yourself to really deliver what he says to do, and then it works out from a lot there. I picked up a couple of things, The favorite line is, if you're like me.
Yeah, if you're anything like me.
Yeah, exactly. This year they had Barry Habib come give a market analysis. He's huge in talking about predictive analysis and talking the mortgage markets and all that. The trends and how he's thinking 5 to 6s is probably where we're going to fall by the end of the year.
Okay. I mean, that's positive.
It is positive. I mean, I hear a lot of sellers be like, if I could get maybe mid-5s, I'd probably be more inclined to sell and get rid of my 2-3% rate.
So is that what they're saying, the numbers? Or that's what you're hearing, huh? About 5?
Yeah. Yep.
In the 5? I do remember like in the early 2000s when last recession or whatever, when they started to dip down, I remember when we got below 6%, it was like, wow, like this is not going to stay. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And we got to take advantage of this. We bought our first duplex during that time. And we look at it now and then people are like, 6%, that's so high. And I'm just like, it's crazy.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
There's so much recency bias is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is people get used to something, and 2-3%, when really your monthly payment is really like indicative of what your APR is going to be like. Your APR goes up quite a bit. Your monthly payment goes up quite a bit. And so that's the main thing, because most consumers are just monthly payment driven.
Right. And I can see from that point of view, like the same house that has a 3% rate on it versus what has like a 7% rate on it. It is almost nearly double. Right. Especially when you add the taxes, insurance.
It is
nearly double. So somebody who did buy, they were able to get into more homes.
Right. I actually had a seller sign with me last week that he owes, I'll just give you the numbers. The house is worth about $330,000, $335,000, and he owes $318,000.
Oh.
So if we sell, it's going to be a short sell because, we're not going to be able to pay all the fees and everything, and pay the realtor and pay everybody to get it sold. And then, we'll have to negotiate with the bank no matter what. And it's a VA loan. The thing is, it's like a 3.6 interest rate. And so his monthly payment is only $1,900 a month. His PITI is only $1,900 a month. So it's like, and average rents in that area for a 4-bedroom like his is about $2,300. So that's tough. So somebody could hypothetically, what we've been trying to do, we're going to end up short selling it, but we've been trying to subject to it.
Okay.
Or some sort of
get
assignment.
Get an assumable mortgage.
Some sort of assumption. But the issue that we're running into is it's still at the top, and so people are going to still have to overpay for that good interest rate. So it might be a good long-term investment, to subject to or assume that loan.
Yeah.
To keep that monthly payment, that interest rate, but we're having a heck of a time getting it sold right now.
Man. So if people could just realize that, you're just going to get a smash deal on it, because your $1,900 is way better than renting at $2,300.
Right. And if you were to purchase it now with like today's interest rates at that same price, you'd be closer to like 26 or something 100. So that's quite a bit. Like at that price point, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that you have to shift over for that monthly payment. So anyways, we're trying to do that, but it might. We just actually listed it. We didn't have it. We were just trying to sell it off market before, but we just listed it, and it's going to turn into a short sale. It's unfortunate, but the homeowners are going through a divorce, and so part of it's the separation, and So who do you see out there, dude?
I don't know. Sorry, I was just checking the feed. I'm nervous now. New phone.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're filming on a new phone. And
that's all it was. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just wanted to see, make sure it was. I was like, you're like, I just want to see. Now
I thought there was somebody out there in the Jurassic Park room, like getting attacked by.
Yeah, it's only been 6 days since the last raptor attacked. If you see the sign.
Oh, is that? Oh yeah, the sign out there. That's right. Okay, 6 days. So do they have to change that sign normally, like every day, or is it always 6 days?
No. Well, I should be updating it. But
I mean, have you seen those signs like 362 days since our last incident? Like at like Costco or something.
So I would drive when I was in Illinois. I went to U of I for college, and I would drive down. There was a factory in I want to say the town was Gilbert, something else starts with a G, but they'd have a sign on there saying it's been this many days since our last incident, posting it. I remember there was one time I drove down on Friday, and I came back like on Sunday. I think I was just visiting somebody at the time, and on the way back it was at 0
days.
Oh no.
And then you're like, I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, something majorly reportable happened there, so
I could just see where if it was like one of those things where the day before it was like 9,422. The next day an incident happens, the boss is like, listen, I'll just give you money, just don't report us, we got this sign out there.
We're about to hit the 10K, man. Come on. 10,000 days.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So did you take a picture of the 0 to send it in? Be like, I'm never shopping at this place, or I'm never going to.
No, just, it had a little flip phone at the time, so it wasn't really going to capture it. It was a long time ago. Great, now I'm old. Cool.
Yeah. Well, we already saw the gray in the beginning.
Yeah. My wife gets more excited with each one, so.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she loves it. It's funny to her. She's like, maybe you'll catch up to me. Allegedly. She doesn't have grays.
I used to pluck all the grays in my beard, and now I'm like, you know what? I'll just cut them shorter. So I take the scissors, I just cut them a little bit shorter. But I noticed that when you plucked them, you're actually thinning your beard, and and then more and more turn gray. And I'm like,
now there's big patches. And
yeah, which I already have like a few patches already, just the way my hair grows.
Yeah,
I don't need more. So actually, there's a little. Do you see the patch like right here?
A little bit. So
I was I had super glue, and my daughter's like, can you help me open this? And it was one of those where you had to cut the top off, and I'm cutting it, and for whatever reason, like I cut it, it's not popping, it's not, and I'm cutting it shorter and shorter. I'm like, how much do I have to cut this dang thing? Finally, I cut it, and it flicks all over my face like super glue, and it dries right away.
Yeah,
and so I'm cutting some patches off, and the one right here went straight to the skin with the hair, and so I was like, what do I do?
You're like, do I let it grow out?
Yeah.
Like flake off?
Finally, I was like, I'm trying to pull it off of the actual hair. And I'm just like, and like a big old chunk of hair pulled out. I was like,
oh no.
Yeah. I was like, it is what it is. But I mean, I had it all over, like little specks that landed. I was like, geez. And I was like, it's not like I was like, what's going on? I'm down here.
Yeah.
So whatever happened, it just, it was one of those moments where you're just like, I'm sure I was cursing. I don't remember what I was saying, but I have a bit of a temper. So, when things go wrong, people hear about it.
Neighbor's like, you got in that super glue again. Can hear it from there.
How many super glue bottles is going to open a week?
Lots of breakage happening.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So, I don't know how we started about that, but yeah, that's the story of that patch right there. So in case you ever come up to me and you're like, hey, I noticed that patch on your face. Super glue.
Super glue.
Gorilla style, I think.
Oh.
Gorilla style, super glue. Nothing but the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was going through Facebook the other day, and there was a deal for Disney. And, we've been kind of contemplating getting Disney passes and whatnot again. We got them when we first moved here 4 years ago. And it kind of lost its lust a little bit with the kids. Okay. Jessica and I, we were fine. Yeah. Because we treat it like we're there to hang out. They have some fantastic that are affordable restaurants. And so sometimes we go there just for a date night, just go to Disney in the evening. Yeah. Easy to park. We could park up there. The rides usually get a little bit more quiet in the evening. So you go there for dinner, hop on a few rides. It's an awesome date night. So if you have a pass, it's kind of neat. Yeah. But they were, anyways, we don't have a pass now, but they did have a thing. So they must be hurting a little bit, but they did have a thing for Florida residents. 5 days, but you have 30 days once you purchase them to use all 5, but 5 passes for $240 a person. And normally they're like, $140
each for one park.
Yeah, for one park.
That's a good deal.
It is a good deal. Yeah. It's less than 2 days. The kicker is I think they know that it's very difficult for Florida residents to go 5 times in 1 month. Like you'd have to double it up on the weekends. Plan
that. Double weekends, or you're taking off a Tuesday.
Right.
Or something like that.
So I think they know that you're probably only going to get like 1 or 2 or 3 days use anyways. Yeah. So it's but anyways, I'm just thinking, man, what a good deal. If I didn't have 4 kids and then us 2, we probably would have bought it. But it's a part of it too is this time of year is starting to get busier. It's starting to get into selling season. I mean, have you noticed that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're starting to see the uptick. I think it's once you get past the Super Bowl, people are like, okay, I'm out of excuses. That's what people use as the benchmark.
I feel like we go from one benchmark to another. Oh, it's as soon as you get past the election. As soon as you get past Christmas. After the new year.
Right. Now, once he's sworn in.
Yeah, once he's sworn in, it'll change. Yeah. And now we're like, it's really the Super Bowl that kind of just,
Right.
So what's next, man?
Easter.
So
what you're going to do is you're going to hide a bunch of eggs in your listings and be like, hey, by the way, golden ticket, find the golden egg, get $1,000 lender credit, something like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So once we get past Easter, though, we're going to be flying.
Should be.
And then after, is it Memorial Day or is it Labor Day? It's Memorial Day. Labor Day is later, right?
Yeah, that's the later one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it's past Memorial Day. Then it's going to be really booming.
Should be. Absolutely.
So,
booming, especially in the middle, right beginning of July.
I have noticed it does appear that things are picking up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just, the buyers seem to be coming out a lot more. They're starting to reach out. We're starting to send a lot more listings to people just to get them enticed, and they're just responding. So it does feel like we're getting into selling mode. And I think this year is going to be different than 2024. I mean, 2024 was good for me. I had a good year, but in real estate. But I know most people really, really struggled. So
yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more optimism in general. Just the way things are going to be structured. I think there's going to be a lot more people feeling good about the way things are moving. Dollar's going to be a little bit stronger going forward, and that's going to help things in the market move the right way too.
Yeah, and I think we just have to work out a few things because right now, stocks are down, crypto's a little bit down, that type of stuff's down with speculation. But a lot is going on right now. I mean, they're just tearing into the federal government, and I mean, whether you like it or not, I think this type of stuff is necessary. We need to figure out what the heck's going on.
It does drive it on the back end. Like you can have demand for houses, ebb and flow, but if the government does contribute to that in ways. So
yeah, I mean, I think most of the time businesses and speculation is based off of what the government's going to do, what type of regulation they're going to introduce or not,
right.
So
anything that helps strengthen the dollar helps people have more confidence in putting more money into the stock market. You take some money out of the bond market, which affects your interest rate. That always improves things. That's probably the direction we're going to go. Dollar is going to strengthen even more, and then you're going to see more people move into stocks. Your stocks are going to bounce back up, and then the bond market will kind of drop down a bit, and that's where you're going to see some movement on the rates.
And so is that selling off of bonds or just slowing down on the purchase of bonds?
I think it's just kind of like selling off. People move out of bonds and into the stock.
Right.
It's a safe haven. Gold and bonds are a good way to people store money. Also, real estate is a great place to store money too.
Do tell.
I mean, when you have your average appreciation is 5 to 7%.
Yeah, it's historically 8%.
Yeah. So
since they've been keeping track.
Perfect. So you take and you come out of, if you need to sell off some stocks and you're not feeling good about that, go buy a house for a bit, rent it out, let somebody else pay for that for a bit. And then when you need to, you can move things around again. Yeah.
We kind of talked about this in another episode where we're, basically most years, what was it? Was it 84 years?
84, I think.
And 7 years were the only time, 7 years out of the 84 were the decline. And the biggest decline was in 2008, which I think was 12 or 13%. But other than that, every other year, homes have appreciated in value, whether that be 1 to 15% or whatever. And so when you average that out, they average out on 8%. So you just don't sell in that 1 year that it drops 12%.
Right. Yeah, you just hold on, because then you actualize the loss. Otherwise, you just keep gaining.
Yeah, because that's Warren Buffett's big thing. He always, one time he lost $1 billion in the stock market. I remember him being interviewed, and the lady's like, "How does it feel to lose $100 billion?" He's like, "Pardon me?" And she's like, "How does it feel to lose $100 billion?" He's like, "I didn't lose $100 billion." Well, you're down $100 billion in the stock market. Yeah, I didn't sell anything.
Yeah. His whole premise is that if you won't hold something for 10 minutes, you're not going to hold it for 10 years. And that's the approach you should have. So it's unless you sell, you're not
the only time you lose money is actually when you sell. And so, his thing was, I didn't sell, so it'll go back up and then I'll make more money on it. So I didn't lose any money. It's just, and that's how I look at things now too. Like when things are down or they're dipped, I'm like, okay, well, I just need to wait longer, usually like, especially real estate and whatnot. So,
yeah.
And even in the last few years, there's still been appreciation. I know a lot of people say home prices have come down. It's because listing price to sales price has come down. People are still overpricing listings.
Gotcha.
And so, but when you look at sale to sale, technically we're up like, I think in December I was looking, we were up like 4% from the prior December, from 2023 to 2020.
That's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that if you just looked at the numbers because people are still overpricing. So, but I think eventually that starts to kind of almost catch up a little bit, but I'm not exactly sure on when that starts to, ebb and flow a little bit better. So anyways, anything else for you?
No, I think not at the moment, but probably have some more exciting stuff on the next one.
Yeah, it's always fun just to talk, and I never know what we're going to talk about, but we usually find things to talk about.
Definitely.
So I appreciate it, Trent.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
All right. We'll catch you next time.
Catch you the next one.
All right. Have you ever gone through, you probably haven't because it's on the West Coast, but Yellowstone National Park?
No, it's on my list to go visit.
Okay. One of the coolest, most pristine places. And you're driving down the road,
yeah.
and these bison are they're huge. They're right next to your car, and you're like, please don't hit my car. Don't hit my car. Yeah, and then there's people that get out of their vehicles, and they like to take pictures. And I do too. I'll do it like a selfie or whatever. But the bison will be way over there.
Yeah.
These people will get within like 5-10 feet, and it's inevitable. Like somebody will get hit by a bison or something.
Yep.
It's like,
nature does what nature does.
Nature, you're not going to stop nature. And it's like these people. It just I like this show called MrBallen. Have you ever heard of MrBallen?
Mm-mm.
So he's on YouTube. He tells stories. Great orator, just like the guy. He's a retired Navy SEAL. But he can just orate a story. Just the way he can say things is so captivating. But he does a lot of like scary type stories or like weird type of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is like this type of story. And I don't want to give away too much, but he has a lot of these type of stories in there. And you can go check out MrBallen.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. That's a great plug.
So, and if MrBallen could plug us, that'd be great.
Yes. No obligation.
Yeah. But that is what it is. So anyways, So what else is going on?
Honestly, I think just enjoying some of the nice weather because we have this nice window right now in Florida where we just came out of the quote unquote winter and it's before all the heat hits. So I've just been enjoying just like great outdoors time for a little bit in my off time. Yeah. So when I'm not writing loans, I'm enjoying some time with my son outside.
Yeah.
Who is super into slides. It's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fun stage. Like my boys were really into playgrounds.
Yeah.
So the girls they almost could care less. But the boys, they were just, and it was one of those things I was like, I could just take you to the playground, just hang out. I could bring my computer down with me, take him to the playground, let him play for an hour or two and just get stuff done. And I would look up every now and then. Yeah. But I did that a lot when I was in Idaho because I had my son constantly with me because he was really young, and I would just take him everywhere with me. And but it was easier to keep him entertained. I'd be like, let's go to the playground, you play, I'll get a little bit of work done, and we'll do it that way. It was great.
I was kind of thinking of trying to figure out like an advertising pitch. Maybe I'll get him a shirt that has a QR code that goes to my Instagram.
Bingo. Yeah. I do like QR codes. Have you seen my Flourish in Florida shirts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
They're good on that.
I like the look of them. I just, my problem was I printed them on cheap shirts. The trick is you got to find the great shirts that you want to wear all the time. Oh. Otherwise, the shirts they are just like, this doesn't feel very good. You don't want to wear all the time. So I need to reprint some, but and I don't know about this theater, but I am sweating like crazy in here. I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen, but there's usually you can see beating on the head, and it's
just like some fans in here.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe
more followers of the podcast, then we can get some fans in here.
Yeah, a week or two ago I was sick. It could just be my body just not knowing how to regulate body temperature too.
It's just getting back to this.
Yeah. It's still like that. I was working out this morning. I was like sweating like crazy, and I'm like, I love it. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, this isn't natural. Like I shouldn't be like sweating this amount. But who knows? My body's just doing whatever. Yeah. So, but anyways, neither here nor there. I had this one deal. We closed on it last Friday, and this gal is 73 years old, and originally she was a pre-foreclosure, and originally when we were selling her house, it looked like she was going to get about 55,000 back, which we're like, okay, you can set up a life, with that. Of course, as things go on, we find out there's a second lien, and the second lien is also in default. And then we get, a week or two before closing, we find out that the HOA she owes 22,000 on. And
oh wait, there's more.
Yeah, a week before that, we found out that 4 years ago she signed this agreement with this company that paid her $750 for a 40-year listing agreement, and then they recorded it as a lien on her property, and so they wanted 3% of the sale. So we get to the closing table like a couple days before closing, and this lady went from what we thought we're making 55,000 or so down to about 2,500, and it didn't take into account that she was paying $1,000 a month to stay in the home for an extra 2 months. So she would have got about $500. Jeez. So I knew she wouldn't sign that, and I didn't, so I'm going back and I'm like, I got to start negotiating with these people a little bit better. We have got to get her more money.
Yeah.
And I go back with the second lien, and they're willing to help out with a little bit. It's a private company. If it was an FHA or something like that, they wouldn't have worked with us. They would have forced us onto the first lien to negotiate. But the second lien negotiated a little bit and gave us like an extra 5,000.
That's good.
Yeah. And then my attorneys that were working the whole time to take her off the auction, keep her off the auction, put in motions and stuff, they were going to be getting 5,000. And they ended up making her pay zero, and they did it pro bono.
Nice.
So my attorneys got that money back. And then this company that had that 40-year listing agreement, I called them and I said, listen, what you're doing is elder abuse. I said, this lady's 73 years old. She was losing her house. We pulled her off the auction to sell her house so she could even make a little bit of money. And now we're getting to the end, finding out that she doesn't have any money. And I said, is there any way, we can, you can just write this off, write this one off and just, forgive it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going back and forth. They keep sending me to a different person. Finally, I get to this higher up, and this company is like a big real estate company based out of New York, but in the US. And they're getting sued in a ton of states. But the Florida Attorney General has been suing them for 2 years to get them to stop these
elder abuse
deals. Because what happens with these liens is when they get recorded with the county, this lien will sit on there. And so a lot of times they won't even qualify for like a reverse home mortgage or something because that lien is sitting on there, and so you can't clear it unless you pay it. And so these older people have this lien on their house, and they can't even qualify for any of these loans or anything. And so they are saying, hey, this is what you're doing is you're preventing them from being able to access their ability to live, you know? And so the Attorney General is suing them right now. And I don't want to drop the name of the company, but I was working with them, and about 3 hours later, I finally get a call back from one of the higher ups at the company, and they're like, we've ruled on it, and we'll decide that we'll give her that she has to pay the money we gave her, which was $750.
Okay.
So it went from owing almost $7,000 down to about $750. So all in all, in one day, she went from basically getting $500 to getting about $15,200.
That's a great win.
It's a great win.
Yeah.
And so I was sick last week, and while all this was going on, and I wasn't handling it. And my wife Jessica on Thursday or on Wednesday night was telling everybody, they're like, look, Trevor's been sick. He'll make some phone calls tomorrow. He'll get everything handled. She's like, I'm not even worried. And I'm like looking at this. I'm like, she's not even worried. Like she knows that I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I don't even know that I can get anything handled. at this point. I'm feeling the stress. I'm like, man, these people rely on me. And, but she wasn't worried at all. She's like, yeah, Trevor will get it handled. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
It'll
be fine.
It'll be fine. And, sure enough, by the end of Thursday and by early Friday when they signed and everybody's happy, like my title guy, he's just like, I don't even know what you did in the last few days. He's like, but he's like, it's incredible. He's like, it's awesome to work to watch you work. And I was like, thanks. It was just
made some phone calls.
It was just one of those things where it's like, you know what? It's because I don't accept no.
Yeah.
There's always a way around things. And you just have to explain things to people. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. And just be completely honest. And I think that more often than not, people want to help you out. And they don't want to be the person that's taking advantage of somebody else. They just, like that company, they wanted to be in the position to sell her house. Unfortunately, it was to the point where we pulled her off the auction. As soon as I get a listing agreement signed, I get it to my title guy so he can run a lien search. But it takes a while to run those lien searches to actually get the full figures and everything. And so we had an accepted offer. We had everything complete by the time we even actually knew that we ran into all those issues. The whole
scope of the issues, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it would have changed the way we operated. Even if I had to make nothing, I still would have worked in that position but it is one of those things, like we don't know what we're getting into until we get down that road. And then once we get there, we're like, okay, now we need to handle it, And so, but it was my big win for last week. And I just really wanted to share because it's one of those things that you can't plan and stuff always goes wrong.
Right.
It always
goes wrong.
And our job is to solve that problem when it goes wrong.
Yep.
And I see it all the time behind the scenes, like on the lending side, because the lenders get blamed for everything. Like as a realtor,
it's all my fault.
As a realtor, whether it's their fault or not, I'm the face of them. And the fact is, underwriting is taking too long. It's not necessarily Trent's fault, but underwriting,
Why can't you just look at this right now and just be done? Make a decision on this right now.
And I feel bad for the underwriters and the processors and whatnot, but the fact is, you do get the blunt of the blame because you're not in front of the face, and it usually is something to do with lending, like where they need more stuff or whatever. Sometimes it's the client's just not supplying what they need to supply on time and stuff.
Well, it is a mix of that, and it's also the underwriter needs what they need to make sure that the lender who's doing the loan can sell it on the secondary market, and we don't have issues. They're making sure this is compliant, but sometimes answers lead to questions, and it's frustrating. I gave you everything. Yes, you did, but now upon reviewing what you gave us, we have this question. We need another condition, and then just hopefully that's it on that, and there's no new conditions.
Yeah. But basically, you're solving problems all the time.
Yep.
You're just constantly going from solving this problem. And once you solve this one, there's probably going to be another one presented.
Probably.
So.
But when you just anticipate it, then it's just makes it easier.
Right.
There's going to be problems, but the more problems I solve, the more I know how to anticipate them and just tell people like, look, I want this, this, and this. They haven't asked for this yet, but I want this and this to take care of that.
The point that I kind of was making, though, is that it's going to arise, but having somebody there that's willing to take it on, like a bison, head on, is invaluable. And I felt like that's how it went with me. And I feel like that's how it goes most of the time with lending, because it is one of those things where you think it's going more, and then they just need that. They need to clear something else.
Yeah.
Something else comes up. Oh, we need to clear this,
But the only way to get through it is by charging ahead.
Right.
The time kills deals, right? If you wait on things and you try to be a cow about it and just turn your back and go, oh, this will just blow over, or try to outrun it, it never works out.
Right.
But if you just charge through, you can get the problem solved. If there's another one, just solve that, get to the end of the deal, and then boom, you're good. You close on time versus, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's huge. I think that's huge. And it is time sensitive. And whenever I put somebody in contracts, I tell them, I said, listen, the lender's going to be reaching out with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's time sensitive. Okay. Everything. When they ask for something, you need to treat it like, I need to get this now. I need to drop what I'm doing and get it to them now.
Yeah. Exactly. And then we just be clear to close early. And just sit and wait.
Yeah, exactly. But what happens a lot is it does, I can do it on Friday. It's Friday today. I meant next Friday. Okay, yeah. Can we do that before?
Can we do it?
So,
How about this Friday?
Yeah.
I need that.
how about right now, and I'll just come down for signatures. Sometimes I just get in front of them.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah. So, anyways, any wins like that for you? Any storytelling?
I would say I don't have any direct wins right now. I have just some things in like the works that are just kind of going through. I had one recently where we got nice clear to close like a week before. The person was worried that, hey, are we going to make this like closing on like the 30th of like January? But we were able to take and say, great, got everything in. They were very prompt with things, handled everything as it came up. As soon as it saw the appraisal came in short, talked them through how to negotiate it, negotiated down to the appraisal price. And then we just took and were able to get clear to close early and just sat for a week. And then,
Was that my deal?
That was your deal.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a smooth one.
I was like, wait a second.
This sounds real familiar.
I was like, wait a second. Unless this happened twice.
Yeah. No, it was a good one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way we work a lot of the lending, I work a lot on the real estate end. Like a lot of my business is lead generating and whatnot, but the lending side, I do like to know about, but I'm not working in the business as much. I rely on Trent.
Yeah.
So, and his awesome skills. So that is one of the things, especially when you use me as lending too, is you're getting a team, and you're getting more availability. I'm available 24/7. He's not available on Sundays, but almost every other time. Like he talked to me on the phone the other day at like 8:30 or 9 on a Saturday or something, or Friday or something.
Yeah, I think it was on Friday.
So, I look, we're all just what we can do, and so it's invaluable to have somebody like you that's available like that. I felt so bad. I apologized to him like 5 times on the phone. I was like, I'm so sorry for keeping out. But
yeah, but that's not for everybody. You're part of the Platinum membership club. Of Trent, so you get those phone call privileges.
You just know I just keep calling anyways. Gosh, shut up. Okay, you're part of the club. But, yeah, so I mean, it was some good weeks. We even have another win, and we'll probably talk about next week a little bit. But we'll leave that for another day because I want to wait to make sure everything pans out okay and we make some progress on it.
Yeah.
But that's going really well. And I mean, shoot, I really appreciate y'all tuning in.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
So I'm Trevor.
I'm Trent.
And we'll catch you next time.
See you next time.
Good show, man.
There we go. Be the best.